Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Schmoedown Canada Night. Or I guess we should just call this edition Schmoedown Day in Canada, because when we record.
Hey, it's night somewhere. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's night somewhere.
Speaking of 5 o'clock somewhere, I'm your friendly neighborhood soda, joined on this episode by our esteemed, I guess, former producer, now full-time on-screen camera personality, Dave. And then, speaking of 5 o'clock somewhere, we have Taco.
It's 2 o'clock here, but I am drinking, so it is 5 o'clock somewhere.
That's why I said that. I said that.
You can't say, but it's night somewhere because you specifically say Schmoedown night in Canada. It's not night in Canada. You completely screw yourself. I think we should be way simpler. It should be called Show We Talk About Episodes Throughout the Week and Show We Talk About PVV. Then I would know what show I'm on because I couldn't tell you the name of any of them. I don't know what this Friday show is. I don't know the names.
This is Sunday, dude. This is Sunday.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying other. Normally.
I don't think
I'm not a smart man.
Taco, have you ever been on the Sunday show before?
Only when it's done on Fridays.
Well, that's a no.
All right.
My wife didn't think I was going to be home because I went on a huge bike ride this weekend, so she had Sundays off. So I negotiated with her, hey, can I do the show? And she's like, can I nap? I'm like, go ahead and nap. So she came napped. I just woke her up, and now I'm doing the show.
Very nice.
So,
awesome.
Yeah, worked out.
Right. Well, let's hop right into it because we had a pretty fun week of matches, capped off by, truthfully, a match that I would have expected to see later in the season, and not at this point. Mm-hmm. But yeah, let's start off. It was the Star Wars tournament, right back in the spring. Yeah. It was Gold Leader, friend of the show. Versus Marie Wilson of the Usual Suspects. What were you guys' thoughts on the match?
Well,
oh my god,
I was really excited for this match because when we had our rookie highlights show from before the season started, and we got a chance to speak with both Marie Wilson and Gold Leader actually. And they were two of the most fun that I think we had. And also two people who, in their first matches already, had shown just how deep of their wealth of Star Wars knowledge got. And neither one of them came from like a fan league or a Schmoedown proper. So I thought this was a really exciting match as they both had comparable levels of skill, I thought.
What about you, Taco? What did you think of the match?
Well, Marie Wilson was Dragon Con, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. Which is why I drafted her in my fantasy league, and I did draft Gold Leader. Gold Leader's a little upset about that because I had to cheer against my literal co-pilot for our Star Wars show. And I got to tell you, I am extremely impressed with my co-pilot. I thought he was good, okay? But Star Wars good can mean Adam Witt's record. Star Wars good doesn't mean much for Star Wars. It just doesn't. So, with how good he played, I'm like, oh wow, he might actually he might go for a title. Like, I don't know if he'll win the title, but he might go for a title. And that's it's crazy. If you rank Star Wars players, you have like 4 or 5 in S tier, and then the rest in A tier. and now he's just proved me he's almost to S tier if he's not. Like he played really good. And the funny thing is Marie Wilson's also that good. So this is a great match. This is a great match.
That's one of the things I love about having the amount of talent in the roster that we have. Is very rarely we're going to get a bad match, which is to me is phenomenal. And like normally I would root against the Finstock machine because
Finstock machine?
Because God damn it. Oh my God. Finstock Exchange. I really don't. I got to get my brain checked out. Dear Lord.
You mean the Janine Exchange?
Yes, them. Because it's the Janine Exchange.
Janine the Machine. Dave, sorry if I confused you.
It's okay.
They don't have smart asses in
Doesn't
Canada.
take much to confuse me. But no, because it's a Finstock exchange, they're the heels. Don't normally root against them, but because it's Go Leader, there is the established relationship and stuff there. I was rooting for him. It was a good first round match, and I do agree with you. After watching this, I think Evan can take the Gold Leader. He's not Evan in the Schmoedown. Gold Leader can take the tournament. Now, again, I'm with you. I don't think he can take the title just yet, but he can easily take the tournament.
See, that's the thing, though, with every Star Wars player. You're talking about everyone being in A tier and then like those top people, Alex Damon, Laura Kelly.
Explain what S tier is to me.
S tier is
it's the next tier.
It's above.
The highest.
It comes from like JRPGs and stuff like that. It's not like it's not like on your report card where you would get like an S for sufficient. S is above A.
Yeah, see, like
satisfactory. I thought the S.
So basically, S is like an A+ player, like top of the top.
Yeah. S is like if I don't know how to put this. If somebody who scores 99% is A, 100% is S. Like S is he probably will never, like, they don't lose. Like your goats are S.
So basically, S is the top line of your team. B is like the second line and so forth, so on, I guess, right?
Well, it goes A. It goes S,
A, B, C, D.
Yeah, but you know what I'm getting at, though, right? Like the S players are your go-to. Yeah, okay. Now,
but I would try to give an example, but go ahead, Dave.
Well, no, it's a term I didn't hear until Friday's show. That's why I was curious what it meant. Just because I'm used to, like, you know, he's an A+ player or he's a top tier player. I've never heard of an S player before, so this was a little weird.
Yeah, it comes to those tier lists that became really huge on YouTube lately, and I watch a lot of them because I'm parts of all kinds of fandoms. I've watched so many tier lists of Mortal Kombat characters, Song of Ice and Fire chapters, like weird stuff like that. So it's stuck in my head now, and so I will continue to use that.
That makes me feel even worse because we have done a tier ranking special. And I was on it.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, we didn't call them. I renamed all of the things. So Champions was the S tier in that. Okay. But back to the match. Like it really shows that almost any Star Wars match is gonna be a pick'em because like you're never gonna know. I think every Star Wars player can beat any Star Wars player, and here's why. Round one. This is a round one question. In the Phantom Menace, what is the name of the type of toxic gas the Trade Federation uses on Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon?
What? Yeah, I know what. Like that's the only
gas I know is the one that comes out of my butt. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Not only was that a round one question, they both got it right.
They both wrote it down before they finished saying episode 1.
Yeah.
What toxic gas does Obi-Wan? The dog.
And like it shows just how deep and how I used to think I could probably give me a month. I used to be Ben Bateman where I was like 30 days studying. I could jump into the Star Wars league, but no, I could not. No, I could not.
That is the one league I do not play against. I cannot do it. Outside of it's like the basic questions that I'm like, yeah, I got it. And then when it's questions like that, I'm like, no, I'll go do the dishes.
I've told Gold Leader this, that I love Star Wars and I live and breathe Star Wars. We have a Star Wars show. I'm not good in this league. I'm just not.
Hey.
But my knowledge is other places. If you want me to tell you all 7 lightsaber forms, if you want to tell me what race every single council member is, or species every single council member is, I could do that, and what planets they come from. But I can't tell you the gas that they put in the. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah. Hey, man, we could use the new show as a taco training session.
And
I can't play. If I ever get a divorce and she takes the kid, then I'll join. But right now, I can't go wife, full-time job, and kid, and Schmoedown. Not the way I would want to play it. So no, I'm good.
I can tell you it's going to be an education for me, so maybe I might be able to come in the league. Because I'm gonna be I'm the guy in the background, so I'm gonna be like, "What is a newbie in?"
Yeah, write down everything we say, and then you're gonna play next year.
Yeah,
but it is kind of insane where the one question that Marie misses is just because of she misheard or she misremembered the quote from Attack of the Clones, And when you're missing, when the only one you're missing in round one is a quote about a time, about something that is not even the point of that scene, that's just showing how deep these players are going and why the Star Wars League is so fastly growing in just like relevance in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how far it's come in just a few short years, because basically it was just like a fringe league, basically. And
it was a joke.
like,
it was something
it was just it was flavor is what it was. It was like a novelty gimmick, and now look, it's one of the most respected and you could argue best leagues in the league.
When it comes to gameplay, it is the best league.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not. But that's it. Like, just when it comes to level of play, there's just it just is. But also, it's the only one, or it's the easiest one to be that way. If we get to the point where singles is like your worst player misses one always, like that is insanity. Like it should never. This is the only one where we got one topic. It should be, or I don't know if it should be this hardcore, but it's the only one that like can be this hardcore. I think. I want to actually talk about that question. Is I got it. But it wasn't from the quote, because it's like, oh, how long? And I'm like, oh, I can do this. Episode 1 took place at 32 BBY, and episode 2 takes place in 22, and episode 3 was 19. 10 years. Like, that's how I did it in my head, but it wasn't from the line. It was just me knowing those staples.
Yeah, I had to figure. I figured it out because I actually did remember that line, but also I was using the Weird Al song "Far, Far Away." It's like, okay, what did they have to do to make it less creepy? Okay, aged him 10 years, so he's 19 instead of 9.
Jeez, well, he'll probably marry her someday.
Yeah, it's funny. That's how I basically know the entire plot is that song, and I popped on my phone for I hadn't listened to it in years, and I was like, holy shit, I know all the words.
Evan took away my bio for Qui-Gon Jinn, but the majority of the first bio I wrote was that song, where I'm just like, they finally got the Coruscant, the Jedi Council did it, and I literally just kept doing that. Like, they all fought in that epic war, but like and when I first sent it to him, he goes, dude, these Weird Al drops are so good. But they all went back to Naboo because Queen Amidala wanted to. Like, I kept doing that throughout the whole thing. But anyways,
you would have won my heart right there.
Who all do we got? I just want to do a shout out to people watching. How many people are watching? Is it still just 2? 3. All right. Well, there's only one awesome guy talking. Come on, let's get the chat going. Let's chat. What's he saying? Go Leader and Harper.
Yeah, I think I honestly think with those guys we could get. I don't think it'll surpass Damon DeMolanta 1, but I think we could see a similar match with either one of those two facing the champion. I think it could be a match that close.
Yeah, this is going to remind me of or if anything, the Cabrera DeMolanta mid tournament match, where it's like this isn't the final, but it could be type.
Yeah,
but
it was. So I'm so impressed, and I really do think that the thing though is when we think about we're talking about Gold Leader and Harper going all the way. Like Ace Cabrera and Sean Sullivan are still need to play. Zach Burkett is playing Gold Leader next, and who knows? We've seen how well he performed against Wit. It really comes down to a pick'em every time.
You think this is the most stacked tournament we've had yet for Star Wars? I'd say so.
I think it's one of the most stacked, period. I don't remember a singles tournament where it's like top tier, Sullivan, top tier, sorry. But it's nuts.
I really do think that this is the most stacked we will have for a long time, just because it's by the nature of it, it's a smaller tournament. Only eight players, so you're really getting the cream of the crop. And the crazy thing is, this is also a Star Wars tournament without Dame Alonta or Laura Kelly in it, or Joseph Scrimshaw,
or Molly Damon,
or Molly Damon. Like, this is so. I'm really excited to see, because they've talked about maybe the next Star Wars tournament this year being larger, like 16 people. It's going to be crazy, because that's going to be even harder to pick. This is like one of those weird matches, though, where it's so hard to talk about the match because everyone just gets everything right.
Yeah.
With Rogue One and Rise of Skywalker being taken in the second round, and both of them going perfect. It's like, what do we say about that? Except Star Wars.
Correction. Marie Wilson did not go perfect in round 2.
Oh,
well, she didn't get all points earned, but she didn't miss a question.
Yeah, she checked down.
She went multiple choice in the middle. But yeah, so before let's keep going. But I do want to do the shout out to Gold Leader. He got a Dewberry, man. He got his perfect. Boom. Good job.
I also want to give him a shout out today because today is his wedding anniversary. So happy anniversary to Gold Leader and Mrs. Gold Leader.
I know we're talking about him on the show. I have a show with him, and I'm like, hey, man, you want to be on our show? He's like, no, I'm doing wedding stuff. And I'm like, you piece of crap. Like, we're no longer friends. I don't even like you anymore. I hope this is your last anniversary.
Wow.
I'm kidding.
Well, yes, happy anniversary.
I hope he has fun. Yeah. He told me their plans, and I hope he has just the best weekend.
Now, if it's off the air, then I'm kind of curious if it involves a lightsaber or not.
Probably, but that's not what I talked to. That's not what I told, but I'm assuming there's got to be at least one lightsaber.
All right, and let's get off that topic.
Can I just say about this match, not enough Clone Wars questions. I think the Clone Wars movie needs to be on the wheel more often, more questions in round 3.
No.
I keep forgetting about that being a movie because basically it's the first 3 episodes of the series put together, more or less.
Well,
but not even chronologically.
Yeah,
right.
But I mean, that is such a mess. That I love that show, but it is such a mess.
And also, it's like, okay, there was also another Clone War movies that looks like anime. It's like that's the one that I have a hard time with, is because it's of similarities to something else, and I think it did more as a show than a movie.
Honestly, I like that one only comes up when it's like a stab in the gut. Like keep your knife hand. Like that's got to be one of the harder categories.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a lot of hard categories for the people who are training like they do. I'm sure they know everything. But like keep your dagger hidden, and then I want to see 5-point Clone Wars and 3-point Clone Wars. But if people start drawing it more, then it's going to get really nasty.
Yeah. See, that's what I want to see.
I want them to finally start including Rebels and Mandalorian and Clone Wars personally.
Like maybe
I disagree, but I like that it's part of it's part of FCL. But but then you're gonna get the more push for that to be for TV to be in other stuff. Then is the second we have that, they're gonna start saying, Why is WandaVision not an IG?
Yeah,
why is it in?
Honestly,
and I don't want to open up the TV floodgates at all. As much as I love those things, I don't want.
You're right, but those are the only 2 instances right off the top of my head that I can think of where a TV show connects to a movie.
If I may,
those 2 would be.
If I may,
you may
do the Ezra Miller's Flash was in the Crisis on Infinite Earths Arrowverse crossover. So now is all of the CW canon, is all of that going in IG because it's all connected?
But it's not a movie.
It is, but that exactly you'd have to put down the guidelines. So so Marvel, we're going to include the MCU short series.
This is the only time if it specifically happens in said movie, like. Kanan is a Rebels character. The only reason why Kanan was a question is because his voice appeared in the movie. So if Ezra Miller went and messed up with the Arrowverse and then brought one of them back for a second, that's the only way it becomes part of the movies.
But no,
if he just goes and does that on a weekend, who cares?
But in Rebels we got Culfridge Sindala on the thing. We got Chopper and we got the Ghost.
We got the Ghost. We've seen Chopper
we got Chopper. We got the Call for Sindala, and the Ghost is in
the Call for Sindala.
Yeah, the Call for Sindala. But in the moment where you see all the spaceships going towards the whatever planet, the Ghost is in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that specific ship, which I normally know, but I don't right now, is in there. We don't know if it's the Ghost. We just know it's that specific.
It looks a lot like the Ghost.
It's a YT something. There's so many YTs.
Yeah.
But it's
based off the clues, you can assume it's the Ghost. So that's things like that I'm like, okay, maybe we should include those shows, and because they are going to start coming into movies.
Well, then give us the Rebels movie. That's all I want. If you give me an animated Rebels movie, I'm 100% in.
That's how I
But then
wanted to
it's-
find Ezra as a wrap up to Rebels as like a movie.
No, that's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
that's gonna be in the
Live
Ahsoka
action.
show. That's gonna be
It's
the
gonna
Ahsoka
be.
show. Like that's how they're.
Oh
gonna
yeah,
handle it.
that's a good point.
The kid from Aladdin's gonna play him. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm this close to doing a rewatch on Rebels right now. It's like I don't know why I'm not doing it.
I try, but that show's slow parts is so slow, but their good parts are so good. Like
Yeah.
I almost want to like decide what arcs to watch and skip over some because the good moments are so good, but there's a lot of filler in Rebels.
I still haven't
like
finished
Rebels.
Clone Wars, so I think I should do that first, even though you don't really need to watch it to enjoy Rebels. But
yeah. All right.
You should just watch Clone Wars because it's amazing. Like
it's the whole out of chronological order thing that's hard for me.
Okay, Dave, you want to talk about Schmoedown?
I'd love to talk about the Schmoedown. As much as I love this cannot be a 5-hour show.
Let's talk about Star Wars Invaded.
Welcome to Taco About Star Wars, guys.
Shut up. Any final thoughts on Gold Leader versus Marie? Obviously, Gold Leader is going to end up winning this match. He's going to go on to play Zach Burkett. Any final thoughts before we move on to the IG? Because we still have 2 matches to talk about.
I do. I have some. I know it's not fun to compare 5-point questions because I roll my eyes when people do, but I actually think the disparity here is a little hard. Like it's a little messed up. The Gold Leaders was how far does the guy say that he's gonna make it? You're gonna freeze to death before you make what? And Empire Strikes Back. That is a really stuck. I'd never draw a blank on that one because that's one of my favorite like moments because you're gonna freeze to death before you reach your first marker. Then I'll see you in hell, and then he just like goes off. That is such a good moment in that movie, and also it's my favorite movie. And then hers was like, what's the name of this random ass ship that like scratches somebody's butt in the background? And she's like, oh, it's a 9285 Star Cruiser, and I was like, okay, that is way harder.
Yeah, the disparity. Thank you. It is there, but to be fair, like when we're asking about toxic gas in round 1, it's like Star Wars really to me is
they're all 5-point questions.
Everything is a 5-point question except for round 2 because they have to make them easier so that they can accommodate multiple choice, and the 2-pointer, which is usually like what's Count Dooku's apprentice's name.
Yeah, what's the name of a gaffy stick?
Yeah,
gaffy stick. I was like, oh my god, if anyone missed that one.
But like it's there, but that's gonna happen, and I agree with Taco. It's like I hate comparing 5-pointers because Gold Leader could have said a different number, and Marie could have said that.
One's
number.
a literal quote.
Yeah,
that is from a memorable scene. Well, I guess all of Empire is a memorable scene to me. All right, maybe it's not a memorable scene, but the other is something that you're not going to learn via the movie.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying don't make them that hard because I like those kind of questions, but then all 5-pointers should be something like that where you can't learn it from watching the movie.
But here's the thing, though, you can't judge that because one 5-pointer could be harder for somebody. And then as we saw with Gold Leader,
I know, and that's why I normally don't like to compare. Yeah, and I hate when people do that. But this is the one time where I'm like, that's a quote. The other one's a book thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you on that, but you know.
Anyways, I'll see you in hell.
Right. Speaking of which, let's get on to the second match of the week. It was our Inner Geekdom match of the week. We had the one of last year's tournament darlings, Greg Alba, returning to Inner Geekdom, competing against somebody we haven't seen in the league in 3 years?
Long time.
Yeah, a long time. She was one of the OG reactors from Late to the Party. It was the return of Taylor Robinson of the Finstock Exchange. What did you think going into this match?
I was really excited to see both of them back because we haven't seen Taylor in IG since the Jared Habon.
Yeah, it was the last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think she played in the free-for-all the year after that, but her last singles or IG appearance was the Jared Habon 5-way, where this is back when Mark Donica, Jason Inman was still playing in the league.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's such a different. That's IG Volume 1.
That's
it's not even close.
Yeah,
that's pre IG tournament is like a different world.
It is
3 years, 2 months, and 7 days between matches.
wow. But also Greg Alba, though, I was really excited to see because I was really excited to see him last year, and I love how like self-deprecating he is in everything he does. Where it's
He's
like,
so good.
I'm not as good as John. So, I gotta score 7 points because he only scored 6 in the last match. That'll make me happy.
Yeah, I love that. It's just like the friendly fire between them.
Yeah.
His like encouraging Robinson was so good. Where you got this. I'm like, that's like the lovable but still kind of poking. Like he's so good at what he does. Such a good character. I like literally rank him with like the Makugas of the world.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
How likable and Now I had a no offense to these guys, but gameplay wise, real rejects will always be like, do I want to bet on them? Like I don't know because you've seen the really bad games.
They're the Bushwhackers.
They're the Bushwhackers
and the comedy team.
Yeah, so it's hard to be like, oh yeah, he's gonna get this. And then I was like, this person's played a Schmoedown match before. Who's Taylor Robinson? And then I had to go back and look. I was like, oh yeah, that happened. Like I've watched every single Schmoedown. I've never missed a Schmoedown.
Yeah,
and I still had to like go and find who she was. But I watched the I want to say it was backstage this week that she was on, and I really liked what she was doing on that. I was like, okay, I think she's got this. She really kind of like just won me over with her confidence and everything, and yeah, so I actually have her going in.
Actually, piggybacking off of that, was it just me, or did she seem kind of timid during the match?
I think she's just.
I think she's just a shy person.
I think she, like.
Because I didn't get that from the promo, but in the match I was like, okay, maybe she's incredibly shy or something like that. But
why did Snark not like this match? Oh my god,
Snark doesn't like happiness.
This was one of the matches that shows me why I love the Schmoedown, where they played pretty good. Like this was not Alex Damon, or this was not like Kalinowski versus Mara level of accuracy, but it was just like they're having a fun time. And even though Taylor is a more soft-spoken person, she's still having fun with Greg. And how great! I don't know how anyone can hate this match or not like this match when every time Greg has to answer a question in round one, he's got to roll his chair back to get that big ass whiteboard in. And then
who's bigger, his or Bateman's?
I think his.
Like that has to have been done on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, like even his name, Idris. Elba, like that's
it's so good. That is so genius.
Yeah.
Like, because it was so when he switched that, I was like, oh, it's such a little poke. It's so good.
Yeah.
I have one favor to ask of you next time we have a match where he's won and we have to make the title card. I want you to use the image of him and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Because he was in one of the first episodes as just like a party character.
Yeah.
I really thought you were gonna say him peeing himself at the free for all, which is still my favorite entrance of all time.
Oh yeah, it just sucks to have it was monetized and stuff. But yeah, this is Greg Alba back during the first season of It's Always Sunny. Yeah, I saw that. I was like, no.
He had to been 19 or something or younger, like 18.
I think it's 2005 when the show aired.
Yeah, I don't think he's much older than me. I'm 32. He can't be into his mid-30s. I didn't graduate high school until like 08 or 09 or whatever. I don't know.
I graduated in 05, so there's no way you're 30.
Do you guys have high school up there? I thought you guys just had like grade. Yeah, I thought you guys just had like grade 12 or something.
And in some places, there's grade 13.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, Quebec has grade 13.
We have optional grade 13 here.
Yeah. Yeah, 2005, 16 years ago.
Wow.
He was born in 1990, so that makes sense. He was 15.
Wow.
He's 16. Yeah, that's what I would say. He had to have been under 20.
Yeah, born the day before me in 1990.
Oh my God.
Yeah, September 3rd, 1990. I'm September 4th, 1987. The more you know.
By the way, Soda shares a birthday with Gold Leader.
Yes, that was a pretty cool random find out we had.
We all talked about our birthdays for a second. Okay, so anyway, so Elba, or have we actually started talking about?
No, we haven't started talking about the match.
Yes, Stark can confirm Ontario has and then you get into Cégep, which is like an intermediary school between like college and
welcome to high school facts in Canada with an American. We don't talk about the Schmoedown anymore. We just talk about stuff. Welcome to my podcast.
There's a lot of stuff in Canada we need to educate our audience on.
Let's talk about high school. That's our new show.
I don't remember much of it. Okay, let's get back to the match.
I don't remember the school part, but I remember the high part. Hey.
Yeah. But okay, so were there any standout moments? I'm sorry, Dave. I'm going to try to get it back on track.
All right, stay on target.
Stay on target.
So no. Robinson missed 3 questions in round 1. Elba missed 2, and they went in the round 2, 8 and 7, and which I was already right there. I was like, is Elba going to take this? Like he was playing good. I mean, again, not like top tier. I think what you guys already said. This wasn't a Kalinowski, like up there level because they still missed a couple in round 1. But that's not like 7 and 8 is not bad out of round 1.
No, that's still. That's
like she hasn't played in so long. Like that was my main reason for not picking her was because she hasn't played in 3 years. But she's still been pretty good.
Yeah. She got opponent's choice, and he gave her dystopia, future, and time travel. I actually think this is one of the easier new categories, just because a lot of these movies are a lot more mainstream. And I know MCU is the mainstream now, but a lot of IG, like I don't know Star Trek because I don't purposely go out to watch Star Trek. Like and even Star Wars. If you're not a Star Wars fan, you don't watch Star Wars movies. So it really sticks to you. Yeah, and because it puts it in that genre. I'm going to watch Lord of the Ring movie, but time travel and dystopian future, those aren't put to that. They're not called this type of movie. So people just watch those movies. Yeah, and my wife's gonna watch Terminator because it's good. Yeah,
there's not that many in the category.
I think I would almost disagree with the fact that this is one of the easier categories because it's all right.
It's one of the okay.
But my thing is because of how broad it is, because it can go from anything from Terminator Salvation to the Maze Runner movies. Like it can get like there's such a wide swatch of films in there. Hunger Games,
Matrix,
It's just all. Well, I don't know if does Matrix fall in
dystopian future, dude. It's definitely a dystopian future.
Yeah, it is.
So, people are batteries, man.
I have an idea of what's in there, and there's not that much. I can tell you, Back to the Future is in there.
Yeah,
Mad Max, Snowpiercer, Terminator 2 and 3, everything from after the first one.
All of Terminator. Okay.
Yeah. And The Matrix and Waterworld.
Fucking Waterworld.
That is dystopian.
It is now my favorite category. All right. But okay, Dave, I completely agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Because of the broad, but let me rephrase it then. I think it's easier for the layman, not for the studier. Because a studier can go, I'm going to study Lord of the Rings. Boom, study Lord of the Rings. Yeah. But for people who just watch movies, like my wife's going to do better at this category than she's going to do in any of the other deep dive nerd categories.
Because it's so new, it's easier to navigate. Is that kind of where you're going?
Well, it was just the fact that a lot of it isn't considered nerd movies. A lot of these are just movies. And there's no stigma to watch them. And there's no I feel like you need the Star Trek card to watch a bunch of Star Trek movies. Like, if I'm not a Star Trek fan, I'm not going to watch Star Trek. But if you're just a movie fan, you're going to watch Terminator. You're going to watch. You're just going to watch those movies because they're just out there.
If I'm being honest, from my opinion, there's really only one series in that, from what I understand of that category, that you would probably throw under you need the nerd card, and that's The Matrix. But everything else, everyone.
But the first Matrix, everyone and their moms watched that movie.
That is true, but I'm saying out of all the franchises that I'm aware of in this category, that's probably the only one where it would delve into the nerd niche category, I guess.
Yeah,
but I agree with you. These are all movies that we, as a collective society, have seen, and you didn't have to have an interest in them.
And what I'm trying to say is, it's an awesome category. That's
and she does pretty well. By she checks down to multiple choice, I think, for the majority of them, but only gives up a 1 point steal to Greg.
Yeah.
So for an opponent's choice, that's not bad to get.
No.
She does multiple choice, gets a 2 point, multiple choice, and then a miss.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't do amazing, but she didn't give up two 2 point steals, so she did better than Alex Damon.
Wow.
That's
too
a shot. No, she played it like a pro would that round.
Yeah, I think that
she navigated that really well.
Despite being out of the game for so long, she's still in it. And I think surrounding herself with other members like JTE, the Barbarian, John Roca, these people who are just so integral to the league, has really also probably helped her not miss a beat as she jumps back in. Because
and not just that, she also is the partner of Jacob London, so that also plays into that as well.
I did detective work. I was like, wait, why do they keep talking about her boyfriend like I should know who it is? And then
he told me off air.
Okay. And then she said what?
No, that was in the show.
Said what faction he was a part of. She's like, oh, and then my partner's in this faction. Yeah. She wasn't saying the name, so I was like, who is this? So then I went and looked at that, and then I'm like, London? And then she said something about being in Australia. I was like, oh, it's London. Got it.
Yeah. When he told us that, I'm like, so that's what happened to Taylor Robinson. Because I was like, where did she go? Because she was so prominent.
She moved to the Southern Hemisphere.
I didn't know, because she was so prominent in a lot of the fan reactions at one point, and then she just disappeared. So I think it's great to see her back.
Oh, yeah. It really is. And also, she gets a different category in this round. I think it probably still goes Alba's way, just because he does pretty well in his comic book movie category.
This Wizarding World, I got a feeling she would have swept that one.
Oh, for sure. But I think I think on another day, this is good enough to get a win in IG, and that's all you need. Just today, it didn't go her way.
For her round 2, yeah,
100%.
Once we talk about a round 3, you can't say you're good enough to win.
Because
she missed her third or 5.
Yeah,
and literally, you can play as bad as you want if you hit your 3rd and your 5. There's just so much comes down. I can how many times have we seen Dan Murrell suck up his 2nd round and then nail his 5-pointer and win?
Whenever we get into that next round,
whenever he plays, he does it constantly. He's one of the worst 2nd round players, and he's the GOAT. It's such a weird thing.
Really? Is he one of the?
No, I don't know. I don't have any hard facts. I don't have any hard facts to back my up. I just know that he always enters round 3 and round 5. Not always, but he does a lot low.
Could you please do the research for us so we can know?
No, you just gotta look. You just gotta look at his matches against both of his title matches against Bateman. Neither one of them he does great in his round 2, and still is able to come back and win it in OT because he's able to kill his 3 and his 5.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the champion of championships.
I think this is a perfect transition to get into the next match, if you don't mind.
It ended 18-15, and
pretty good score.
Yeah, it's a decent score. Yeah. Elba had to answer his 2nd and 3rd, but didn't have to answer his 5-pointer. And congratulations, Elba.
The last thing I want to say about this match is something we haven't shouted out a lot in our coverage of the week's matches. Andrew Guy on the desk. You can tell
good.
He's so good.
You can tell. Oh, this is what he does for a living, regardless. This really is when they get back in studio. I hope that he doesn't immediately return to play.
Me
I
too.
really hope he stays on the desk.
I'm coming to the realization I don't want him to leave, but I think at this point he's better suited for the storylines than he is for the gameplay. Not saying he's not good or anything like that. I just think where he is right now, that's going to be his bread and butter on the Schmoedown because he's so good at it. Good at it.
I'm really glad you brought this up because I've been literally like writing it down and trying to tell myself, like after his first match of like, hey, we have to talk about how good Andrew Guy's doing because he is, and he was really good in the cutscenes leading up to like the him and Ellis training cutscenes.
Best one this year.
Yeah, they're delightful. Did the cutscene where him and Grace getting
that was
lunch?
The first cutscene of the week that aired before Gold Leader and Marie Wilson, I believe.
Can we talk about that before we get into this final match? Can we just talk about cutscenes for a second? Because there's another cutscene I want to talk about too. But that cutscene was awesome. All right, it was so cheesy and so ridiculous, and no one's getting an Oscar anytime soon. But I loved that cutscene with him having lunch with Grace, and then all of a sudden he like starts getting flashes of the last couple of years, and then she Winter Soldiers him.
Yeah,
it was so awesome. Did you not see this, Soda?
I did. No, I saw it. It was great. It took me a few seconds to realize what was going on, though. And
I knew it. I knew it immediately.
Yeah, it's like okay, so this is basically Schmoedown's fucking Hydra.
Yeah, it is. I want so bad. I want a really lovable person to be hugging somebody else and just go like, "Hell, Schmoedown." And I was like, "See that? I want it."
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Dave. Go ahead, talk.
No, like I really liked that, and I think it goes to show I wasn't sold on Grace as the president of the Schmoedown and being the person or our main like focal point into Schmoedown as she's kind of become. But these last few cutscenes like have reminded me, first of all, the Schmoedown is better with Grace Hancock in it. And like she has just been killing this stuff with Andrew Guy. And Andrew Guy just did what I said about Grace. Like the Schmoedown is better with him in it. Mm-hmm. And even if he's not playing, him being in cutscenes and now him being on the desk, this is what the Schmoedown needs.
To me, now he's in the category of Ken Napzok, where I don't want him to. If he doesn't want to play, I'm perfectly okay with that because I know we're going to get good riches elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Man, yeah, God, freaking put Ken and Guy on the desk. I'd love to see.
I just assume Ken has things happening. Like he has to walk Grace's dogs.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just got engaged. Congratulations to them, by the way.
Oh my God. I honestly thought that was just a storyline thing they were dating. I didn't even know they were actually dating. I thought it was just a story. And then when that happened, I was like, oh my God, good job.
There is an episode, I think it's of the Afternoons, which is on hiatus right now, where they talk about how Grace and Ken got together. And it's actually pretty funny because they hid it from so many people at Collider. And then they were driving to it was a couple months in their relationship, but they were driving down to San Diego for Comic-Con, and Makuga was in the car, and he's sleeping, and then he just like wakes up like this all of a sudden. They said, "Is like, are you and Grace dating?" And then he was the first person to find out.
I remember an old Schmoes podcast, like after I think it was like more than a year after Force Awakens came out. He wouldn't have been dating Grace yet. I just remember somebody like brought up like, oh, what would you rather have, like sex or Star Wars? And he's like, I already have that. Like I already don't have, I only have Star Wars. And he goes, really? And like Harlow tries to call him out. He's like, okay, so like, if I say that you can have Star Wars, but like he said something, he's like, dude, I haven't had a date since after Force Awakens came out. I was like, oh my God, this dude wasn't bluffing. Yeah. And that was still stuck in my brain where I was like, no, man, the guy's Star Wars. So that's why I didn't think he was dating her.
They announced it to the world at Makuga's wedding. I first got a hold of it because they shared a picture of them, like a couple picture, and that's what I was like, lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, that is the main like the best example of personality, like filling the gap. Like you can date above your number.
All right,
a 2 can get a 7
Yeah. All right,
if you're awesome. Come on. Ken knows what he looks like, but he's an amazing human being.
So
I'm kidding.
Speaking of awesome, this is a match that the last match of the week is actually one I thought we were going to see later in this season, but I'm glad we got it now. And it was the tournament final match between Rushmore, JTE, and John Roca versus Danger Zone, Ben Bateman, and the GOAT, Dan Merle. Who did you have going into this? I had Danger Zone because it's hard for me to pick against Dan at this point.
Rushmore. I can't believe Rushmore lost. I would put money. I said on our last show I will put $500 on Rushmore right now. Is what I said.
Glad you didn't.
I would have lost it. Yeah, I'm kind of glad.
I thought I really wanted Rushmore to win, but I knew Danger Zone was gonna take it because the win over Deception is very impressive to me, even more so than a win over Lightning Time. Like Danger Zone getting past Deception in that scrap just showed me, no, these guys are running right through it.
It was the cleanness of that win.
Yeah,
because I think it's my opinion, but I think Deception played a better match. They just missed the wrong questions to miss.
Yep.
And that's it. They had a higher accuracy. And that was one reason why I'm like, if I was actually a guy who believed that Shmoedown would make people win and make people lose, I don't believe any of that garbage. But if I actually believe that Shmoedown makes certain teams or players lose for storyline, that's what feel like one. Because it's like, no, of course they want a Danger Zone Rushmore, and Deception was playing so well. Mm-hmm. And not only that I didn't like the cleanness of that win, but Rushmore was on fire. They have not been winning; they've been killing it. And JTE looks so freaking good right now.
This is actually something I want to talk about after we're done analyzing the match. Just because to me, I thought everything went down perfectly because obviously Roca and Merle is your number one feud of the year, I guess you could say. And to see it go down the way it did, it couldn't have aligned perfectly unless you rigged the whole thing. Because I'm going to use a wrestling analogy here. This reminded me of when the Macho Man Randy Savage won the WrestleMania 4 heavyweight title tournament, because on both sides of the bracket, you had on one side, you had Macho Man Randy Savage, the good guy, which in this case is Danger Zone. He had actually had to wrestle three really hard matches before he got to the tournament finals. So he already got his reps in. You could tell he's sweating. The $1 Million Man, the other finalist on the other side of the bracket, had a bye in one of the rounds. He got easy wins, disqualifications, stuff like that. As of kind of like Rushmore, who had like the TKOs and all that stuff. They just trampled their opponents. It wasn't as hard as you would say the other guys. You get to the tournament and the good guys win. For me, the symmetry of how it all came together was what fascinated me most about the match. And then we get the match and it's everything you would have expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm a dungeon head, but I'm not a Danger Zone head. They're fine. I don't dislike them by any means. But the GOAT, cheering for the GOAT at this point is like cheering for the Patriots or the it's like, yeah, they always win. Okay, cool. Woo. Yeah, and then Bateman's always rubbed me the wrong way, and I know that's his character, and he's doing a good job. So I almost really wanted Rushmore to just beat the tar out of them. I wanted it to be bloody, and I wanted it to be nasty, and I wanted JTE to get to do bury it. I wanted JTE to play amazing. That's I almost got it. It just didn't go the way I thought. Yeah.
And it does really go to show you how important that first round is in the team's play, because no one Danger Zone, both of them go perfect in round one and get the bonus. And even though Rushmore gets 6 and 7 points respectively, they're still down by so much there that they're very lucky, and lucky is the wrong word. Because of how high level of skill they have, they're able to navigate it with a little bit of luck from the wheel in round two to get to the point where they don't get TKO'd, where I thought that's where it was going. the entire match.
And this is where I wanted to bring up, like how we were talking about Merlin round 2 not that long ago. This is where I wanted to bring that up because, as they said, like this is one of the reasons why they built up such a padded lead, is in case round 2 went like that, they still had a chance. And I think if that is 100% accurate, I think that's actually a smart strategy.
Your strategy is to get all your questions right. Like that's not a strategy. That's just answering questions.
That's not the strategy. The strategy is get them all right so I can suck later.
No, it is true, but you do have to prepare for all inevitabilities, and then
I do want to talk about that 5-point lead going into round 2. Oh my god! And the conservative play in round 2, it won.
Yeah,
I will give it that, but it bugs me because I think that you think
what was the round 2 category in
Bateman, they got martial arts, and it was opponent's choice. Which, by the way, it was opponent's choice. Could we talk about that? Like, still was opponent's choice. But also, Bateman and Dan shouldn't have an opponent's choice that will kill them. Like, and it didn't. It didn't. Yeah, but they're just playing at the level. They should be playing at the level that it's like should be a mediocre category at worst on the wheel. Like really they should have their
the mediocre category.
It was, but how many times did they say the right answer when they were deliberating and then went to multiple choice? 2 to 3 times. Like they did it a few times.
Yeah,
it's true. But I mean,
that level of conservative play absolutely screwed them. They could have TKO'd this.
Well,
if they had just had the balls.
To be fair, when Dan would say the correct answer or something, Ben almost always had, or in reverse, I can't remember exactly right now, they'd be like, well, it's this. And then it's like, oh, well, I think maybe it's this. So like this level of conservatism actually, I think, goes for them because if one of them doesn't yield in the deliberation, you're giving Rushmore a 2-point steal.
And it works for me because this is not the type of match where I want to see a TKO and I want to see go down to the last question. So them playing in round 2, I think it added to the, I don't want to say like the myth or whatever this match, but it definitely added to the intrigue and how much it sucks you into the match. Because now you know, okay, they did that, so it's gonna be a lot closer. Now it's really a who's win. Whereas if they did TKO them, it would have been awesome. It would have shut Roka up, but
it would have shut me up though. Like I would have a completely different tone right now. Like I'm still thinking Rushmore's a better team. Like I'm still thinking that, but it was just because I didn't get wowed. They didn't go. They're like, hey, I got a 5-point lead. Let's just hang out.
This was like,
come on, man, kill him.
From both sides, this was a very defensive game after round 1, where Rushmore goes to multiple choice a couple times in action adventure. I actually think taking action adventure is a very defensive move because I think you're hoping for some more of those like skimming off the top questions where these were some deep cut action adventures.
These are hard.
These were tough.
It also was risky because if Rushmore missed, Bateman would have got it.
And they did.
They did.
The one they missed.
The National Treasure one.
Yeah. Yep. Which I was so happy I knew because I love National Treasure.
Can we talk about I got just like a circled question here. It's just a random question. The third question into the action adventure, what film does I'm blanking on the guy's name. The bald guy. Oh my God. Chev Chelios. No. Dude from Jason Statham. Thank you. I'm brain dead still from this ride. But yeah, what film does Jason Statham play Chev Chelios? And I was like, it's a Crank question. Yeah. I love Crank. It's like this. It's this weird cult. Like Crank 2, I think is a masterpiece. I think that it is so underrated. Like it should be talked about as one of the best bad movies ever.
I've seen those movies once, but the reason why I'm able to remember them so well is for the scene where, in order to get his heart he screws his girlfriend, and that's always stuck in my mind.
In the middle of Chinatown.
In the middle of Chinatown, it's just like, oh my God.
And when he like gets it going and they all cheered, he's like, "Hey, I'm going again!" And they're like, "Yeah,
all right."
No,
in Crank 2, there's a scene where he's fighting the main bad dude. And out of nowhere, with no explanation, they switch to 2 people wearing the actors' masks in a miniature like setting, and it's 2 kaijus fighting. They don't explain it at all. just out of nowhere in the middle of this fight scene, they turn in the monsters go, "Ugh," and then it flips back to the fight.
Adrenaline's a hell of a drug, my dude. They'll do things.
Okay, so I actually just realized I haven't seen Crank 2, and I'm gonna have to remedy that.
You have to watch Crank 2. Don't go in thinking it's amazing, but go in thinking it's
no. I've heard
amazing.
so much about
the other
it.
type
I
of
know that's what the
Dave really wants to talk.
Yes.
No, I'm just trying to keep this show under 7 hours.
Sorry.
We're under an hour now. We're doing
I
good,
know.
man.
I know.
Hey, man, we gained viewers, so we must be doing something right.
Maybe.
What are we at? 4?
5.
So,
but now that we've seen Rushmore and Danger Zone both play through the tournament, and I know we're going to get to round 3 and how things go down. What do you guys think about their team chemistry respectively? Because these teams were both and the number 1, number 2 players on their faction. And I think the team chemistry was always the thing in my head that I was worried about with both Rushmore in the JTE Roka of it all and Danger Zone in Dan and Ben. How do we think these two teams have meshed together now that we've seen them play through the tournament?
all right.
I already have a thought in mind if you want me to take it.
I never have thoughts. Go ahead.
Okay, so I don't think they're the team. I don't think either of these are the team that has the best chemistry. But if I'm going to go to chemistry, I probably would go more towards Rushmore than I would Danger Zone. Because while they are all vastly different characters, I feel like Roka and JTE can, when they're locked in, they can blend together better than Danger Zone, because you've got super serious, straight on the focus Dan Merle, and then you've got the Joker wannabe Ben Bateman, whose main thing about his game is to try to throw people off. So I don't think they mesh that well. But did you guys notice that after a certain point in round 1, Bateman shut the hell up?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
I think it came down to it wasn't. I think it was in the deception match.
He got called up for it,
where he got told like, "Hey, you do that again, you're gonna get the."
Yeah, it was the first ever warning. I think it was the Harris brothers. Actually, I think it was Harris brothers.
Well, Harris brothers aren't in the tournament.
Oh, sorry, whatever. I think it was the Harris brother and then that other guy,
Eric Zipper.
Because it makes me wonder is if there's two possibilities for that. Either A, in the private chat, Harloff nipped in the bud early because he did start off like that, or B, he realized this is a high stakes match and I need to pay attention. After
him laughing, because I remember him laughing when they both got the perfect round. When it's like, oh, and you guys both got perfect. He like did his like. Yeah.
That was the last time you heard it,
and that was the last game. And I want to speak on this. Well, I think I've told Soda this before. Dave, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Well, no, there was a little bit of jabs in there down the road, because I remember, and then immediately got his comeuppance where in round 3, Roka takes the 2, and Bateman's like, oh yeah, weaker player takes the 2, and then I'm laughing in my head. I'm like, if they don't win by TKO, Bateman's gonna take the 2. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but Dad took the 2.
I know the disrespect.
I know, and the fact Roka didn't throw that back is insane to me. Because Roka should have been like, "Oh, cool, giving your weaker player the 2."
Yeah.
Because what that means is, who cares? They're at the level where there isn't really a weaker player. Like, sure, Ben's weaker than Dan, I guess, but they're both. Here's your S tiers. I think they're both S. I think all 4 of these players are S tiers, especially in teams. I
think Roka can only throw that back in Danger Zone's face if he then hits his 2. But the fact that he missed the 2, you can't say much.
You're right. I was gonna say one other thing. Oh yeah, no. Let's talk about the warning. I know I've said this on other shows. I just don't think I've said it to both of you guys. I think if you're going the heel character, if that's what you're diving into, like Ben or whatever, if you're playing the unlikable character, I would get a warning, because that's not that doesn't hurt you. I would get a warning every single match. I would, because it doesn't take points. But I would stop it after there, and I would never lose points. And if I ever did lose points, I would drop the shtick.
Yeah.
But that's now ammo. That's now another tool. Messing with your opponents to the point of getting a warning is now another tool you could do with the sure, your reputation's going to go down, but if you're a heel, who gives a crap?
Yeah.
I would and that's just me thinking the most diabolical, messed up I can. If I was playing that character, I would poke until they go, Taco, shut up, you're warned. And then I'll be Mr. Freaking Angel after that.
Yeah.
But I would still, if you can get them to mess up one question, completely worth it.
That's why,
or just get them out of their head, completely worth it.
That's why I'm thinking Harloff nipped it in the bud early.
Yeah.
Of the stakes of this match.
Yeah.
If this was just a regular teams match, I think Bateman probably would have kept going. But because of what it was, I think Harloff's just like, let's just cut this shit out right now. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, maybe.
You're probably right. Because I don't think Bateman was going to back off, and then he did. So there must have been a reason, and he didn't get a warning. But also there was an edit. Maybe he did get a warning.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think it's tough I think if you're getting a warning every time, I think there comes a point where the league looks at you and says, you're coming into this match with a warning.
Yeah, probably.
I think
but then I'm done. But if I got one win because of my warning or because of messing up my player, completely worth it.
That's totally
completely worth it.
I think that's totally fair. And I think it's more for the digital era, the warnings. I think when they're back in studio, you're going to see a lot more messing with your opponent. Maybe. It's just when it's all coming through your headphones and stuff, and you really can't drown them out with other thoughts. I think that's where it becomes tough.
Okay, so
being inside someone's head like headphones is you can really mess with somebody.
That's one of the reasons I do not like wearing headphones, is because sometimes just the amount of noise that comes through can just be a little much. So I actually believe that theory. But before we wrap up, there are two things I want to touch on. One of them was on Snark's comment. Do you guys feel that these type of grudge matches should be delayed until the major pay-per-views?
Yes and no. When it can
be possible with the way the setup is now, and with all these tournaments, it's not entirely possible because it's not like wrestling where everything's predetermined.
I think
it still felt like a PPV.
It did.
I think if it's not in a tournament setting, because I would hate if we got to this tournament final and then they're like, oh, we got to wait for the next Battlefield. So this is going to happen June 26th or something. And it's like, okay, so now Corruption is just waiting in the wings until July and we're losing all this momentum. But if it's if you get in regular season play where it's like, oh my, Paulo Yama and Ben Bateman, they're both winning. Their next match should be against each other. All right, why don't we say that goes in July in a pay-per-view event? But in a tournament, I love how the momentum is always building.
And based on that, I'm going to say no, I don't think these type of grudge matches should be delayed until the major pay-per-views, but I would have rather seen this match for the finals of the Ultimate Schmoedown instead of just a slower tier tournament.
Oh, but here's the thing, man.
We can still get it.
We can still get it because Corruption has something on Dan Murrell. Mm-hmm. So this is probably a good place to end the show.
I do have one more question that
I have a topic too. I still had something I want to bring up.
Okay, but I think if Corruption beats Danger Zone, you gotta think that they're gonna run this back in the Ultimate Schmoedown. They will not let these two teams play each other in regular season. No, it'll happen in the Ultimate Schmoedown. And I would not be surprised because they're both not new. They both have pretty good records. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up as number 2 and number 3 seed over, and number 1 probably goes to Corruption or Shazam, whichever team's in there. So then you end up seeing for the final match of their half of the bracket, Danger Zone Rushmore 2.
And that brings me to my other points, because this is a little bit of spoilers into the pay-per-view, but now we've had Mark and Draco retire, and essentially
That's what I was going to bring up. We're perfect. Yeah. Okay, that's exactly what I was going to bring up.
Where does this so where do we go from here? Because now you have a title match that's not going to happen.
Yep.
That was supposed to happen on the 28th of February. So now what do you do? Do you put Corruption into the Odd Couple slot and have them and Shazam fight for the title? Well, I saw a lot of people advocate for it, but I don't think Harloff will go near this with a 100-foot pole. People are advocating for a triple threat.
So
I don't want that.
I can stop this conversation right now. Earlier today, Grace Hancock updated the cover photo, and it was Corruption versus Danger Zone. But interesting enough, they did not say and you know what, Shazam's delayed. So I would not be surprised if it's similar to when Kalinowski beat Bateman and then immediately had to play Jeff Snyder. I would not be surprised if it's like, hey, Corruption, you just KO'd Danger Zone. You're running it back. My only thought with that is I would imagine that the Corruption Danger Zone match would be a 5-rounder, and I don't think they'll have 2 5-rounders in one night.
No.
So
what I think the likely thing is, because it just says Schmoedown Battlefield, they don't actually have a date. Here's what I think is going to happen. They're going to delay the match against the Odd Couple until probably the week after, maybe mid.
What do you mean, Odd Couple?
Or sorry, Shazam. Shazam.
Yeah.
And I would put this upcoming Corruption Danger Zone match in its place for the next week, and then the week after I would do the.
And then so you guys are saying winner of Danger Zone Corruption plays Shazam for the belt.
For the belt.
And
so the winner of that is now the champion.
Yeah, exactly. Like what we had with Shire.
Completely agree with that.
We had it with Shire versus Bolt in the Head.
Yeah, and I you're right, and I can't wait for Shazam to be the champions again.
Yeah, and I said this in the private chat when Mark Andreyko retired. Poor Bibbs. He keeps having to get vacated championships. He got Sam's vacated championship, and now he's probably going to get the Odd Couple's vacated championship.
Yeah, but this one feels really earned because you're playing. You're playing your first defense if you would have got it. It's not like
it's still
they're not getting. If they walked up and gave them the belts today, I'd say whoa. But the fact that they're not getting them, they have to wait to play one of two really amazing teams, and I don't even know who I have there. I think that's pretty earned, and I just do. I mean, I'm not going to be like, paper champion garbage that. Also, if you're going to look at me in the face and tell me that Shazam doesn't deserve the gold right now, they were one of the best teams ever. I know you're not saying that. No, I'm just saying, naysayer, you're going to tell me that freaking Shazam's not one of the top 3 teams ever now? Yeah. I think they are. I think they're one of the best teams we've ever had.
And this actually makes me excited for a potential Shazam versus Danger Zone match, because we're seeing Merle, Bibbs, and Meyer face off against each other again, and we're throwing Bateman into the mix. So I'm wondering how that's going to go, and if Bateman's going to try the whole.
You're going to have to wait, because Corruption's going to beat Danger Zone. So.
No, that's why I said it opens up the possibility for that, because truthfully, I'd rather see that than a Shazam.
You said that so easy. Wow. Okay. I agree. But I just did. You just said it without a comma. You just
I think
here's this fact I have.
Yeah. Well, I think
if Danger Zone wins, we're going to see a mixture of people we don't see that often play against each other.
Yeah,
that's what I'm more excited about, I guess.
I'm really excited about the perspective of Shazam Corruption too, because Shazam took the belts off Corruption, and now to see that come back, I'm excited to see that. And also, Bateman's never been able to seal the deal in teams, so I don't think he'd win.
Also,
either way, for the fans, it's a win-win for us.
It's a win no matter what.
Yeah, and it would be great to see Chance, Mr. underrated Chance, beat Dan Murrell. Yeah. Even if it's in teams, boom. Yeah. Go study. know your place. Go back to singles. Like,
there's a whole lot of things that we're gonna get out of that match. So either way, I'm happy. But just for me personally, I'd rather see players you don't see play against each other often.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, though, we've seen Dan Murrow play play Shazam.
Oh no! I was just looking. They've played once.
Founding Fathers only played.
Founding Fathers played Shazam only one time, and that was Spectacular 2019.
Yeah, I guess because they were
from Roca.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh shit!
Shazam's such a good team.
Shazam. Honestly, all these teams are great. I'm so excited for what the next month of, and then like we have Collision right after that, so we're gonna get some crazy shit coming up.
Yeah,
I know. I'm loving this league right now. Like I can't believe I'm not watching First Class League because I'm usually the give me as much as possible. But right now I'm getting as much as possible.
Yeah, and there's not enough time for the First Class League, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I want to. I bet it's great.
Yeah, it is.
There's so much Schmoedown.
I watched
a couple.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So on that note, I think it's time we wrap up, boys. Don't you think? I mean, we got some really good conversations going here.
We did.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
We're almost like professionals now.
I was going to say about half of them were about the Schmoedown.
Hey, those are. You know what? I like that because at least it feels different from everything else. Because all the other ones, no disrespect to any other shows, I really love those guys. It's just I find sometimes it's too much Schmoedown, even though that's what we're supposed to talk about. It's nice to just ramble in and out of stuff because it keeps the conversation fresh.
If you want to hear a robot talk about the Schmoedown, then just do that. But if you want to come for personalities to talk about the Schmoedown, then that's what you're going to get.
I mean, hell, and that's you've got what I want to get of a meal here. You got taco and soda. Like, come on.
And Dave is eating us.
So does that make the parsley, the French fries? Like,
I don't know.
I'm fucking yeah.
Whatever you say, they're non-food.
Lose the napkin. I'm kidding.
I'm sorry. I would not put Lou on my mouth.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Okay, so on that note, Dave, where can everybody find you?
You can find me right here at Schmoes of the North. Make sure you like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like this video, share it with your friends. Join our Facebook page. We got a lot of great people who talk about the Schmoedown there. Follow us on Twitter at Northern Schmoes. And if you're interested in me, follow me on Instagram at Baby James Lees.
It's a great follow, everybody. I do highly recommend it. I'm not going to spoil it, Dave. Don't worry.
Don't spoil it.
What about you, Taco? Where can everybody find you and your sore legs?
Well, not off the couch today. I'll tell you that. This is the furthest I'm going from laying down all day. Dave, I'll have to check out your Instagram. But anyways, that being said, check out my Instagram. When I'm not talking with a bunch of Canadians about competitive movie trivia, I am actually a painter. I am a fine artist. I have some really messed up paintings on Instagram at Mark Taco Face. That's where you can find me. Also, on Saturdays, coming back next week with our second show is Let's Taco About Star Wars with Gold Leader and Soda. So, I'm the Han and Gold Leader's my Chewbacca and Soda's like R2-D2 constantly fixing the ship. That's pretty much it. And our next topic is we're going to rank all of the Skywalkers. Gold Leader's going to be ranking all canon characters, and I'm ranking all legends. Do you want to say something, Dave?
I forgot to make that thumbnail. Shit.
That's
you got a week.
You have a week.
You got a week, buddy. It's okay. I went and I biked the Black Hills. You're not the only one who didn't work this weekend. But find me here on Fridays and sometimes on Sundays. And Soda, let's talk about you for a second.
So you can find me on basically all the shows on this channel, pretty much, and then you can find me on my other channel, Media Sweaties Network, where I'm on several shows over there. We've got a recap in the past for me and my friend Ben Rayner. We give our top 5 list of episodes in seasons of sitcoms we like to review. Currently, we are almost at the end of Friends, and we got the Friends reunion coming up this week, so it's a whole lot of Friends in my household. And then there's also Shooting the Breeze, where we just sit down with the friends for about an hour around the internet, talk about whatever. We've had talks about cannibalism, existentialism, being in a cult, movies, books. Like we talk about everything. And then there's also our main show on Saturdays, Get Sweaty, where every week we just come back with a topic and we give our top 5 on that topic. Yesterday's episode was top 5 Harry Potter moments, and that was a great conversation.
And of course, you did.
Sorry, go ahead.
You did a podcast about cult leaders and cannibals and didn't call me. Like I do paintings about cannibals and do paintings about cult leaders. Like
I think this was before I met you.
Okay, I was just saying, like, really? Come on.
Yeah, I think this was before I met you, and I don't think you can record Thursday nights anyways.
Oh, you're right. I can't.
Yeah, and then of course on my personal Instagram and Twitter, it's soda_the_Saxman. You can also follow us as a collective over on Schmoes, Northern Schmo on Twitter and Schmoes of the North on Facebook. Don't forget.
Dave already said all that stuff.
But
thanks for showing up, guys.
But before we log off, also don't forget, recently joining the channel a couple months ago, Bomb-Schmoedown every week has breakdowns of careers for some of the most impressive characters the Schmoedown has ever seen. Make sure you go on over there, check out their videos. They just did Clark Wolf this week.
You're lucky, the players they're covering might end up in the chat, which is always a lot of fun. That's happened to us. We did our Ken Knapsack crossover.
Yeah, it did.
That was pretty fun.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So on behalf of everyone, all of us here, like I said, don't forget to, or like it was said before me, and I forgot, don't forget to like to subscribe to this channel and all our other various places we are on. And we will see you on this upcoming Friday on the next edition of Schmoedown Night in Canada. Don't forget, everybody, stay sweaty and smash cancer. We'll see you next week.